Gold and silver are at all-time highs, but orders are coming thick and fast nevertheless. People are wanting to buy this stuff still, whether it be silver, whether it be premium stuff, or whether it be just gold at these all-time highs. It's pretty crazy to think that in my just short period, I say short period, it's been nearly 10 years, but my short period of owning gold, it has nearly tripled. That is mad. That is completely bonkers. And whether or not it will triple again in another 9 years is anybody's guess. So today we are going to have a fun old precious metal ramble, and also you guys get to see my expert packaging skills as I multitask and package up some of the many orders of our brand new 2025 hand poured silver. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome to another precious metal ramble where we have down-to-earth discussions about all things precious and shiny. Gold and silver all-time highs. Well, for silver in the United Kingdom all-time highs, but gold all-time highs. Wow, it's gone pretty crazy, hasn't it? So a little bit of a commentary about the world of silver and gold prices. Is it too late to buy? That's, I guess, the overarching theme of the ramble today, and you'll have to excuse the little bit of multitasking that I'm going to be doing in today's video because we have just released our 100 gram bars over on the Silver Forum, and I've got a lot of orders to package up. So I'm going to package some orders up and talk with you all and multitask basically. So if you're enjoying our content, or if you want to find out more about these bars, then head on over to the Silver Forum. You can see the links down in the description box below, and you can get hold of these bars if you so wish. But oh my goodness, gold and silver are at pretty high highs. Certainly when you factor in the UK pound rather than the US dollar. So silver in US dollars is not quite at its all-time highs, but silver in the United Kingdom is. And that's pretty crazy really in the grand scheme of things. It's amazing how much it has changed over the last just months, quite frankly. But if you look a year ago, it was £1,800 for silver. Now I'm doing bar number 7 for this first one. I know the member on the forum who owns this bar, he loves his 007 James Bond bar here. Quick, have a look at it before we go in. So yeah, it's crazy how much it's gone up just in 1 year alone. But I mean, I started buying gold when it was £900 an ounce spot price. Crazy, crazy that has, I mean, it's nearly tripled. I can really easily see gold getting close to, God, £3,000 an ounce doesn't seem that much of an ambitious target now, quite frankly. I think we're going to get there, not maybe by the end of the year, but certainly early next year, we're going to be pretty close to £3,000 an ounce. And that in dollars, I don't know the maths of it, but it will be close to 5,000, probably $4,500 an ounce for gold, which is crazy. So we'll just have to see how that develops. But the question is on everybody's mind that doesn't have gold, is it too late to buy your gold? Oh, I've forgotten to add in the finishing touch of my business card. There we go. Is it too late to buy gold? It's a really difficult one because I have, of course, the beautiful hindsight of gold ownership that has been with me for nigh on 10 years, and so I've been buying all the way up the value curve of gold from the beginning. So I can see the potential gains well into the future for gold, and I would say that without giving financial advice, because I'm not at all trained or accredited to give financial advice, the general rule of thumb is if you buy gold and you forget about it for 15 years, 10-15 years plus, you'll probably find that you've made some money. But whether or not you've made money is a different question, because at the end of the day, you're just preserving the buying power. So don't get lulled into the idea that gold and or silver, but especially gold, is going to be, a quick turnaround. Next week it's going to be £2,800 an ounce, £2,900 an ounce, £3,000 an ounce, despite everything you might hear or see out there in social media land. It's just a slow and steady thing that wins the race. So does that mean it's too late to buy? Well, no. I mean, I bought some gold because gold was around £2,600 an ounce very briefly. I don't know, it was a couple of months ago. So this was bar number 7. Let's put that there. We'll hide that with the labels when we all put that is. Of course, I'm not going to finish up the package with all people's personal information, but that is bar number 7 done. Here's all of the ones that we're going to do today. So we need to find bar number 30. So yeah, I remember recently buying gold at sort of £2,500 an ounce plus, and it was, part of me was going, that's pretty high to buy. Is it really worth buying at that price? And then you look now, and it's already over £2,600 an ounce, and will potentially go even higher in due course. So I don't view it as a major issue in terms of like all-time high prices. I know that because it's at all-time highs, you'll also start to find way more people looking into getting gold, because it'll be hitting the media. It will hit the mainstream media as well. You hear it all the time when these kind of things hit those high prices. Right, bar number 30. Let's find the certificate before we forget. I'm always cursed whenever I forget one of these in. I have to post it out to the buyer separate time, so annoying. So I don't think it's too late to buy gold. Am I still buying gold right now? Well, I already have an existing gold stack, and I've been buying slow drips and drabs over the last couple of months, and I've been trying to focus on a little bit more quality within my stack. So I, as you may know, have a lot of sovereigns. I like sovereigns. I've been trading out a lot of my big chunky 1 ounce gold for sovereigns of late, and I've found that I have this little bug to get some more quality involved in it. So there's something to be said about having like your basic, I've forgotten the bloody business card again, haven't I? God, it's multitasking whilst filming, it's not easy. I've definitely got the bug for sovereigns, but at the same time, I quite like the idea of having stuff in there that's not just the purest bullion play. I like having things that shield back sovereigns and stuff. So something with a little bit more premium. Yes, you are going to have that little premium when you buy it. Is that a massive problem? Am I really too worried about paying an extra £15 on the price of a sovereign? No, because I like to think that the way that I would potentially sell those sovereigns slowly over time doesn't really affect my strategy of exiting. And that's one of the things you've always got to look at when you are looking to get gold, perhaps for the first time, or if you've already got a bunch of gold, looking to get more of it in. Over the lifespan of my gold purchasing and ownership, it's changed quite a lot. Of course, like the start, I wouldn't have anywhere near had the realms of thought that I'd get to where I am with my precious metal investments. But over time, you develop as a stacker and a person, and your mindset will change on what's right. And it just felt right for me to buy along the way. So is it too late to buy gold? The answer to that question is no, it's never too late. And one would argue that it's the earliest point other than doing it right now is tomorrow. So you could go and buy your gold whenever you want and get it all done and dusted. But it is a personal choice, I think, is the most important thing. And don't go and rush out onto social media. But there is no doubting that gold is high. So the question then comes, do we buy silver instead? So the question of do you buy silver instead is always a difficult one, because I don't view silver quite in the same category as gold as a long-term investment. I view silver as a much more volatile commodity, as something that will have premium attached to it. So our 100-gram bars, for example, are not bullion products. They are limited edition collectible products. We only make 175 of these, and so they do carry a premium. And this year, they're the highest price that they've been, and that's because silver price is just really, really high. Last year, what we've done is benchmark the price against last year. So every year that we've done these, what I do is I look at what the silver price was the year before, and then I add the exact amount on top of what the silver price was from last year, because there is and so that, if anything, reduces my percentage premium over time. But I'm essentially still making the same amount of profit on these items, and we are getting, of course, that profit for the business. That's what I'm doing as a business. And that's just how business is. You kind of have to just make, if I just slap 20% on it, 20% on the all-time highs makes more money for me, and that doesn't feel right. I don't need that. That's not what this business has ever been about. This is about creating some cool products. So when silver is at all-time highs, the premiums do add up quite considerably, because you'll find a lot of retailers will always I didn't put the certificate in there, did I? So we're doing bar number 25. Oh, this multitasking is going to get me in trouble, I know it. So the point here is, though, that premiums are a big factor to play into it. And if you are looking at the simple silver play angle of just having cheap bullion products, then definitely hand-pulled silver is probably not going to be for you. Artisanal items are probably not going to be for you. Collectible numismatics are probably not going to be for you. But at the same time, there is an argument to be had that when silver raw prices are at all-time highs, that having some quality within your stack, like with my sovereign play of having stuff that isn't just your bullion run-of-the-mill sovereigns, is actually quite a good thing. And I've always felt that way in many times that I've seen prices go up. This is not the first time I've seen big increases in gold and silver prices in my tenure of doing videos on YouTube and stacking. I've seen prices go up, down, left, right, and I've seen prices drop drastically from where it was, and often I've joked that when I go and pull the trigger to buy a boatload of silver or gold, that you can bet your bottom dollar that in the next 24 hours, silver or gold will drop considerably in price, and it has happened a few times. So I don't view silver quite the same as gold. I think it's got a lot more volatility built in, but at the same time, those premiums can work for you. And that's something that I've always thought about with silver, which is why I like silver as an investment, but it's more of an investment as a almost sort of a business investment. So gold is a true kind of you buy it, forget about it play. Silver, you have to work for that return. You have to actually, you have to manufacture something. You have to put some energy and effort into it. And that doesn't mean you have to take all your silver Britannias and coins and make products out of them. It just means that you have to try and work to maximize your gains. That's one of the reasons why bullion dealers will pay a certain amount, which isn't very much, quite frankly, a lot of the time. And that's because they have obviously a business to take care of, so they need to maximize their margins. But as an individual, if you want to maximize your margins on this stuff, you need to put in the work. You need to go onto places like the Silver Forum or Facebook Marketplace or YouTube, start a YouTube channel and create bits of poured silver or whatever it might be. And then you'll be just fine with your little stack. You can have an avenue by which to sell. Aha, number 175. This is the very last one in our mintage of 175 bars. So that is definitely a thing to think about for silver. Having that quality within your stack is always a good thing, but it is a liability as well. So, we're not going to ignore the fact that these bars and others, not just mine, plenty of other people's artisanal pieces and other bits of work that they might do on premium coins, those are going to be a inverted commas liability if you are looking to sell them quickly. But if you take some time and you find the right buyers for them, there's a market for this stuff. And for those who are watching to this point in the video, if you are interested in getting any of these 100-gram bars, I'll be quite frank and open and honest with you. They are priced at between £135 and £145 per bar plus postage. So the most expensive price for somebody to buy one of these bars is going to be close to £155 with special delivery. And that's obviously a fair chunk of change for one single product. I'm not going to hide behind the fact that that's expensive. A lot of that is the silver price, of course. As I mentioned, my margin is still there. My costs are still there. My costs have gone up untold amounts over the last years with the cost of inflation, cost of materials, cost of manufacturing, cost of energy, cost of hallmarking, postage costs. There was a time when I just factored everything in and I just had a sort of a flat rate for postage because that would just be how it was, and I would offer free postage on multiple purchases. But unfortunately, those kind of things just eat into individual business margins these days, and it's just a sign of the times. So it's really, really difficult. But there is the final roundhouse point that I want to make, that is silver is, of course, a lot cheaper than gold. So if you don't have the big, deep pockets to go out and buy a bunch of gold, then definitely buying some silver is a thing that you can do. Now, this was number 175. There we go, number 175. So there is definitely an element of having as much energy as possible to put in the work for yourself as silver, but it is profitable. And look, there are plenty of people who do it for a living and do it very successfully as a sort of hobby trading business. And that's, I think, quite a good thing to think about if you've never thought about that before for your silver, if you're just worried about it. One of the things that we also have done in our tenure here on YouTube is that we've done our buyers club, and I've had a few inquiries of late. Of course, I think as soon as silver gets to these kind of high levels, we're going to get more inquiries coming through from people, and I'll probably get some inquiries from having mentioned it in this video about selling on an intermediary basis. So if you haven't got the time, the volition, the energy to go and do what I've been saying there, create a small brand and business and start selling, then what we've done in the past is use that little selling service to help people. And I've noticed in this last week, I've had loads of inquiries, and we haven't had anyone pull the trigger just yet and send me some stuff to sell on their behalf, but there's a lot of people who are asking about it. And with prices being so high, there will be people wanting to sell. So when and how you sell is going to be really important. And that selling service that I offer is, I think, a good service to help people get the best returns as a sort of medium. If you don't want to put in all the hard work yourself, then someone like myself can help you along the way as well. So Yeah, it's a strange one, and I think with the way that prices are going, I can't see things getting much lower anytime soon. And that's, I think, another interesting one. So people have constantly asked me, is there going to be a dip? If I had money in my pocket every time somebody asked me about where the price of silver or gold is going to be at any given day, week or month, I'd be a millionaire, because I've had lots of people ask. And the honest answer is I don't know. Is there going to be a big dip? I can't see a big dip coming anytime soon. I think we've just had a dip, if I'm being honest. So if you've been following the channel for the last couple of months, you'll notice that about 2 months ago, I went up to Atkinson's and I traded out a bunch of my big gold for sovereigns. Now, it didn't matter what the price of gold was at that time, because I'd have got the exact same amount of sovereigns for my gold. So the argument there could have been, if I had sold the gold traditionally and just had that money in my bank and then was looking to buy that same amount of sovereigns and I hadn't been able to do it, then slowly gold starts ticking up over time, which is one of the reasons why it was such a good thing to use Atkinson's, to just get it all done in one go. And that way I didn't have anything to worry about in terms of that exchange and losing out on certain amounts of that gold. So there is definitely a lot to think about if you're going to get into gold. Is it too late? No, I don't think it is. And I think, do you know what? I think I've rambled on long enough in this video, so this is the last one we're going to do. I do have one order of 10 of these bars to package all in one go, but I think we're going to stick there with these 5 done for now. That's kind of my ramble. I guess the answer to my question of is it too late is going to vary from person to person. I would really appreciate if you've got some time to share your thoughts on this. If you are watching to the end of the video, Cool Kids Club, just quote me 175, which is the mintage for these 100 gram bars for 2025. If you are interested in getting hold of any of these, they help support the Silver Forum, and they also help, of course, support our business and what we do. You can either email me, there's an email in the description box below, byb@backyardbullion.com, or there is also a link to the Silver Forum's published thread on these bars where you can put your name down for the waiting list. They're in the pre-sale period only right now, so you won't find them on our website. They're not listed down there right now, but they will be in due course as and when we know which bars are going to be available, because every year we try and match up serial numbers with previous year's owners. So that's the pre-sale period right now. You can put yourself on a waiting list if you're interested. Otherwise, that's it from me. I think it's been a fun little ramble. God knows where silver's going to go, or gold, in fact, over the next coming days and weeks and months. We'll see. Just have to wait and see, quite frankly. I can easily see 2,700 coming in the not too distant future. Will it be next week? Will it be a month's time? I don't know, is the honest answer. It makes you think as well about the state of the world and where things are globally, and whether or not there is a kind of crash coming. If the bigger markets are thinking gold's the safe place to put their money, then is that telling us something that we need to think about and know about? I don't know, difficult times. That's it from me. We'll see you all on the next video. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.